Hello, and welcome to Gadget Surfer TV. Today's video will be talking about SpaceX and Blue Origin and how their private space war is pushing both companies to the very best. Make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Let's get started. A tale of two billionaires. The space race of the 21st century revolves around two of the richest men in the world. Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX, and Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon and Blue Origin. This space race is a unique milestone for humanity. Gone are the days in which two governments battled each other in bad blood. The modern-day space war centers around the philosophies and goals of two private enterprises in SpaceX and Blue Origin. As most would expect, the media is trying to drive the narrative of a fierce rivalry, most especially when Musk recently overtook Bezos as the richest man on the planet. The two companies' Twitter war back in 2015 was well documented, and competition can create the absolute best from the two competitors. They both want the same goal: to use space exploration as a way for advancing our society into the next millennium. The main difference is their methods and direction for their respective companies. Let's first talk about Elon Musk. Recently named the richest man in the world, overtaking none other than Jeff Bezos, Musk has a lifelong fascination and obsession with Mars. He believes that in due time, Mars can be a viable, alternative option if ever there came a time when we need to leave planet Earth, for whatever reason. His goal is to use the planet as a place in which he can use to explore the cosmos in the solar system, and to build a self-sustaining city in which humans can eventually live in. Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, is the owner of Blue Origin, a rocket company. Bezos thinks that while humanity may be fine, we will soon exhaust ourselves of Earth's resources. One day, he believes that Earth may be completely uninhabitable, meaning humanity must find a new place to live in. The difference with him and Musk being that Bezos believes in space stations as opposed to other planets. Blue Origin's goal is to build space colonies on space stations that have over 1 trillion people inhabiting and working in space, with an industrial base on the moon to oversee the space activity. And with that lies the key differences between these space rivals. Musk believes that humanity will one day find itself in a hole, whether it be World War III, or a global pandemic, or another natural catastrophe. Mars can be a viable backup plan while humanity can help heal the Earth. In short, his goal is to one day have Earth and Mars as planets capable of inhabiting humans. While Bezos, on the other hand, firmly believes that Earth one day will be uninhabitable, and we must leave and to expand into private space. But it leaves the question, in this war, who is ahead? The Tortoise and the Hare. So far in this space race, many believe that it is SpaceX that has the clear-cut advantage. SpaceX, after all, was the first private company to launch 2 NASA astronauts into orbit. Blue Origin, on the other hand, has yet to send a single rocket into orbit. This has then led Jeff Bezos to compare himself and Musk and the two companies to the tortoise and the hare. Bezos said that in a race, the hare took the early lead in their race, but in the end, the tortoise won. He believes that slow and steady will win the race, and that Blue Origin will eventually surpass SpaceX in this space war, which is fitting given the motto of Blue Origin, Gradatim Ferociter, a Latin phrase which translates into step by step. They do have a lot of ground to make up for. SpaceX's Falcon 9 is a rocket with the ability to launch into orbit, while with Blue Origin, their New Shepard has been launched several times but has never made it into orbit. The New Shepard has had several versions that have flown throughout the years, with none of them going into orbit. Instead, they fly past the Kármán line, the internationally recognized boundary of space, at 62 miles out and comes back down to Earth. It is intended as a short trip for space tourists looking for a quick joyride into space, while the Falcon 9 has a high enough speed to go into orbit. In fact, SpaceX first went into orbit as early as 2008. It's already the year 2021, and Blue Origin has yet to achieve this feat. There is also the internet space race the two are currently going through. SpaceLink versus Project Kuiper. SpaceX has their SpaceLink project, in which it launches a constellation of satellites to connect places where internet connection is not present, inefficient, and unavailable. Bezos, not to be left behind, wants to provide an internet satellite service of his own with Amazon's Project Kuiper, in which Blue Origin will play a big part in getting up and running. New Glenn is set to deploy satellites for Canada's Telesat as well as for UK's OneWeb. They even have approval from the U.S. Federal Communications Commission to launch the 3200 satellites, under the condition that it does not interfere with SpaceLink's constellation that currently holds over 12,000 satellites. Elon Musk even playfully replied to Amazon's tweet calling them copycats. Project Kuiper shows much promise, considering that it can be integrated with Amazon's web services with companies such as Netflix, already current clients with the company. But they have yet to launch anything, as opposed to SpaceX that already has the engine up and running. While SpaceX may have a clear lead, there is one thing that Blue Origin has had a lead in, up until recently that is. Funding. SpaceX nearly went bankrupt in 2008. Thanks to a successful launch, they were able to land a NASA contract that provided them with over $1.8 billion in funding. It still does have its struggles when it comes to funding. Elon Musk uses his money from Tesla, as well as contracts from NASA as well as other companies, to fund the resources needed for SpaceX. Jeff Bezos was the richest person on the planet, making over $1 billion a year on Amazon stock alone, easily funding his space venture. And then this happened. Before 2020 ended, Forbes announced that Elon Musk overtook Bezos as the richest person on the planet. What was once the clear-cut advantage of Bezos and Blue Origin seems to matter no longer, as Elon Musk has steadily gained ground. Ironic, since Bezos called Musk the Hare in the story. But the difference here is, the Hare isn't sleeping and seems to keep moving forward. And recently, SpaceX beat out Blue Origin on a contract worth billions. This contract will see the U.S. Air Force using the Falcon rockets of SpaceX to launch their classified missions. Blue Origin is a promising company, but its slow pace isn't proving to hurt SpaceX in any way. They are taking the next steps forward that will propel them to future success. But for now, the Hare is leading in this story by quite a lot. Make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell for future content. Thanks for watching. The billionaire space race of the 21st century has only just begun. Space tourism is the future of humanity, with companies SpaceX and Blue Origin leading the way, with SpaceX's rockets already currently in low Earth orbit. And while Blue Origin has yet to launch a single rocket into orbit, many people are questioning whether or not Blue Origin deserves its place in the current spectrum of space news. Even with SpaceX leading by quite a wide margin, Blue Origin is not a company to be looked over, and Jeff Bezos has an excellent track record in successful projects. He is, however, going up against Elon Musk. So this new competitive space rivalry is one of the hottest stories going on in the world today, and it might prove to be one of the pivotal rivalries in mankind's history.